So Sony screws up and Marvel has to swoop in and save the day and give us a great adaptation of one of our all-time favorite superhero characters. Everybody wins here, trust me on that. And with that, I'm welcoming you to another episode of the Romantic, where my goal, as always, is to enhance the movie watching experience. So Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm very excited about this one. Obviously, Sony partnered up with Marvel to try to bring this new Spider-Man into the MCU and all that. And I gotta say off the bat, let me tell you guys, if you guys were excited about this, keep the expectations high. Marvel, Sony, I'll give Sony some credit here. They hit a home run with this. This movie is so much fun. It's great. It's just exactly the Spider-Man that you wanted to see. And particularly, I'll start with Tom Holland. I mean, we know we got a taste of him in Civil War, but he was never for about 50 minutes, kind of stole the show. So I was curious to see if he was able to pull this off in his own feature film. And he did. This guy is perfectly cast as Spider-Man. He is the best on-screen Spider-Man we've ever had. And don't get me wrong, I like Tobey Maguire. I like Andrew Garfield. They were fine for what they did, and I have no issues with them. But my biggest thing about with Holland is that he's actually the right age. You know, he's a 15-year-old in the movie. He's probably 17, 18 in real life. Be that as it may, he fits that mold of what Peter Parker is. He's a young kid. He's a teenager, which is what makes him so relatable to everybody, because we've all been what he has been through. And, you know, Maguire and Garfield, they were late 20s, whatever the case is, they couldn't really pull that off, and to no fault of their own. But here, and what this movie really excels at, is giving us that Peter Parker side when the story gets smaller and they focus on him and going through the high school and the teenage angst, and he's trying to fit in. Him and his friend Ned, who's great by the way. Zendaya plays another character. Michelle, I believe her name was, whatever the case is, she's great in as well. And all these kids are trying to fit along, and they're trying to fit in, and he's very socially awkward. And there's that girl, that Liz, that he really likes, and he's not sure how to talk to her. We've all been there. We've all been in that situation, and you know, it's almost like a coming of age story, if you will. And this is when the movie really shines, because it gives those moments we haven't really seen before. And in any, well, at least believably in any other Spider-Mans. So what we have here essentially is we have, you know, Tom Holland, of course, Peter Parker. This takes place a little bit after Civil War. He's on a high, you know. He fought, you know, Ant-Man, and he fought, you know, Captain America, stole his shield, all that good stuff, and he's just waiting for his next opportunity. He's just, you know, he's texting, you know, Tony Stark and Happy, of course. And he's finding out when he can be part of the team again, and that's all he wants to do. He has all these powers and he wants to use them. And unfortunately, Tony Stark is having to take it easy, stay grounded, don't do anything stupid. And of course, he does. He runs across, of course, well, I guess the Vulture, of course, Michael Keaton's character, who plays the villain here, who was kind of slighted by Tony Stark years ago, right after the events of the first Avengers. He had, I guess, this construction company. He was doing some of the salvage of all the aftermath of the Chitauri invasion, all that. And Tony Stark and others, they kind of moved him out so they can take hold of and take all the technology that's out there. And Michael Keaton's character, he put all this money and effort into it, and he was kind of left out in the cold. But he managed to take some of that technology with him, and he's upset, of course. He wants to get back at everybody, and he uses that technology to create weapons and whatnot. And Peter Parker stumbles upon that, and he takes it upon himself to stop him, you know, despite Iron Man's warnings to not to get too involved in that. He doesn't think he can handle it, and it proves to be the case. Now, this was great. This was great about this, because as a kid, we're all there. It's teenagers. We all think we're bigger than life. We can do no wrong. You know, we want to obviously be overzealous and show what we can do, despite the fact that we're not ready. We don't realize we're not ready. And you see Peter Parker and Spider-Man going through this, and that's what makes the movie so cool and so great, because we can relate to that in some sense. And again, to say it's about, and this is really the only negative, there's a couple small things here and there. I'm not going to nitpick this movie. I could if I wanted to. This is a great film. But the biggest gripe, of course, it's Marvel. So in Marvel, yeah, you get a lot of fun, a lot of good times, and great action set pieces, and the three great action set pieces in here. It's the villain. Again, Michael Keaton's great. I love Michael Keaton, but he was kind of, I won't say he's wasted, but he's underutilized. He has one great scene towards the end, but by that time it's already getting close to the third act. But he's underused. It's underdeveloped as a villain. He's kind of there to give Peter Parker, Spider-Man, someone to fight. The real conflict is actually Spider-Man himself and him growing up and learning what it is to be a hero. We know in the trailers, Tony Stark took his suit away. He's dealing with that. That's the real villain that he's facing, the real conflict here. Michael Keaton is just someone that he fights, unfortunately. He's underdeveloped. Michael Keaton, who's great when he's on screen, he's just not giving enough to do. That's the biggest gripe here. Some other small things, but ultimately, at the end of the day, it's negligible. This is a fun, great time at the theaters. Marvel did it again. It's what they do to make good, fun movies. They're not perfect, but for what they are, they're great. It's the best Spider-Man since Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire one. Ultimately, do I recommend you guys to go watch it? Of course, it's Spider-Man. Why would you not want to watch this movie? I don't get it. But definitely, you're guys gonna be pleased with what you see. A lot of fun, great family film. It's gonna make a boatload of money, and it should. And I can't wait to see what they do in the next upcoming installments of Spider-Man. Of course, you guys are gonna watch it probably. Let me know, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought. Of course, as always, if you haven't done so, subscribe below and feed my need to go to the movies. And of course, lastly, don't forget to catch myself and my co-host, the Man Beast, as we do our movie talk and TV talk on our podcast, the Real Mentors podcast. Catches on Podbean, Pocket Cast, iTunes, etc. We're on pretty much weekly. And with that, see you guys next time.